Dun, 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 dun.
Yo! What's up, people? I want to tell you guys about Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, which is the closest thing there is to a Jedi Simulator. That's right, for all you Jedi wannabes out there, this is the closest that you're gonna get. Jedi Academy is actually the third game in the Jedi Knight series and the fourth game in the Dark Forces series. Star Wars Dark Forces was the first ever Star Wars first-person shooter. You play as Kyle Katarn on his mission to destroy the Dark Trooper, which was basically a giant stormtrooper, but it was a robot. The next game in the series, Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, continued Kyle Katarn's adventures where he learned to become a Jedi Knight. The game had one expansion, Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, where you're able to play as Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker's future wife. The next game in the series dropped Dark Forces altogether. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is the last game featuring Kyle Katarn as the main character. The game starts off with Kyle Katarn working as a mercenary for the New Republic. Kyle Katarn had cut all connections to the Force after falling to the dark side. So he became a Jedi, saved the day, and joined the new Jedi Order. Okay, now that the game's history is out of the way, we can talk about Jedi Academy. The first thing you do as soon as you start a new game is create a character. You can choose from different alien races, as well as picking your gender. And here's a little bit more Star Wars information for you guys. Jaden Korr, the character you're creating, is a human male in the Star Wars novels. Anyway, after making your character, you can choose the hilt and color of your lightsaber. As I said earlier, you play as Jaden Korr. Jaden is the first person ever to create a lightsaber without any prior Jedi training, which is cool. Wish I could create a lightsaber. But anyway, in the transport you meet your first buddy, Rosh. He's one of the central characters in the game. Soon after that, your transport is shot out of the sky where you crash and you have to survive. In the new Jedi Order, Luke Skywalker is basically like Yoda, the Jedi Grand Master. So obviously he's a bit too busy to take you on as his Padawan. So guess who shows up as your master? Kyle Katarn, the main character of all the other Star Wars Jedi Knight games, as well as Dark Forces. Throughout most of the game you'll take on mostly just normal Jedi work, which is things like saving transports or helping merchants, stuff like that. But in the main story arc you'll be fighting the Disciples of Marka Ragnos. The Disciples of Marka Ragnos pretty much boil down to tons and tons of Dark Jedi. Lots of them. Jedi Academy pretty much sticks to its Dark Forces roots as a first-person shooter, but switches to third person whenever you're using your lightsaber. And let me tell you, I really had no use for the guns. I pretty much only used my lightsaber throughout the whole game. And for the most part, you can just go through the whole game with your lightsaber, except for one mission where you're captured by the Imperial Remnant. In that mission there's this really crazy guy who really wants to hunt a Jedi for some reason. But that mission is entirely first person. Lightsaber combat in this game is a blast. And the thing I love about this game is your lightsaber is a lightsaber, not a glowing baseball bat. So that means your lightsaber will kill in one hit, and that is awesome. That's how every Star Wars game should be. Your lightsaber should be lethal, like slice right through people, burn them to death. But other than your lightsaber, what would a Jedi be without the Force? And you automatically get the 4 core powers, like Force Push, and the second power is Force Pull, which you see right here I used to pull a lever. Force Sense, which lets you see some puzzles that you normally wouldn't be able to see. And the last is Force Speed, which of course increases your movement speed. All of your core Force powers are leveled up throughout the course of the game. But you also get light side and dark side powers that can be leveled up at the beginning of each mission. Of all these powers, Force Lightning is my personal favorite. But there's also powers like Force Barrier that works as a Force Field, and Force Healing, which is used to replenish your health. While there are some others like Drain and Mind Trick, these are the 3 powers I use the most. After completing every set of 5 missions, you get to a story mission. After the first story mission, you get to choose from 2 new lightsaber stances. Fast, which revolves around quick jabs, and Strong that revolves around long swings. After your second major story mission, you get the big game changer. You lose your lightsaber, and Jaden has to build another one. You can either keep the single lightsaber and learn the other stance that you didn't learn when you had your choices, or you can choose a double-sided lightsaber, just like Darth Maul. Or you can pick the third style, which is fighting with 2 lightsabers, For this, you can pick 2 different colors and 2 different hilts. As I said before, you'll be doing a lot of different Jedi work, and I think that's my favorite part of this game. I mean, sure, the main story is pretty cool and everything, but I like just being able to pick my own mission. And the cool thing is, the missions are all very different. Like this mission, where you have to make your way through the deserts of Tatooine and get on a sandcrawler. The objective of the mission is to find a stolen droid. But these missions are the coolest. I like missions where you're just basically playing as a Jedi, just doing normal Jedi work, keeping the peace. And I think that's the coolest thing about Jedi Academy. I can't think of another game where you get to play as a Jedi and just do normal Jedi work. Another cool thing is throughout the course of the game you'll meet some other Star Wars characters. The cool thing is this game takes place after the movies, so it's cool to see what Chewbacca and Wedge Antilles are up to post Return of the Jedi. But of course, since you're doing Jedi missions, you'd have to bump into Boba Fett. Funny thing is, he's supposed to be the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, but every game you fight him in, you always beat him. Another cool thing is this game looks like Star Wars. I mean, this game is pretty old, 2003, but they did a good job at capturing what made Star Wars Star Wars. And even though you'll mostly be visiting new planets, you do get to visit planets like Tatooine and Hoth. Jedi Academy is a really cool game, and if you get the chance, I suggest you pick it up. Especially if you're a Star Wars fan. Most likely if you're a big Star Wars fan, you've already played it. But even if you're not, other than a crappy vehicle mission, and some bad enemy AI, this is a really good game. The game goes for anywhere from $25 to $40 for the Xbox version, and I've seen stacks of the PC version at Toys R Us for about $3. And even like I said earlier, if Star Wars isn't your cup of tea, if you're going to try one, at least try this one. But this has been Steven, the Master of Game Pal Masters, and thanks for watching.